everybody to our Monday evening masterclass. We are getting started with our practice. Last week, we did a beautiful full moon practice. This week, we are doing a fall winter practice that is going to calm down those elements that are starting to get pushed on and pushed out of balance. What elements are we talking about? Ether and air. Those are the elements that are now dominating the atmosphere. We want to create stillness. So that's what we're doing in our practice today, so that all of that can start to settle, calm down. So that's what we're doing today. Let's get started. Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is very exciting to have this class tonight because last week I was not well. I am great this week. All right, make sure that hello, Marvy. You have your blocks close by. We're going to start our practice out today opening wide, right? So we are going to do a practice years ago when I first started practicing yoga. The first style of yoga that I was exposed to was called Iyengar. And that is a practice where we hold poses more. So we're doing more of what's considered more Iyengar type of practice. They usually bring their feet together, start out in Tadasana, mountain pose, creating stillness for the body. Become aware of your breath, moving in and out of the nose, taking the tip of your tongue at the roof of the mouth behind the two front teeth. That opens up the throat and allows for the breath called the Ujjayi breath. So for the first part of the practice, our breath is going to be 1 to 1. So 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale. Be steady, stable, like a mountain. Ground into your feet. Spread your toes. Activate the pads of your feet. Lift your arches. Now, your hands are going to come up and into the chest. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to open up the legs. You're either going to open up, stepping out like this, or your hands come in, you bend, and you open. Okay, so you can open doing a gentle jump. Good, then we're going to turn to the side. Line up so that you have the front heel lining up with the arch of the back foot. And then we open, stretch, and reach. I want you to really imagine that your connective tissue, your fascial tissue, can get a nice big reach and stretch up, and then release down. And as you release down, we're going to start out just below the knee, really easy. And we're emphasizing that this torso stays lined up with this leg. In other words, we're not leaning forward. Good. And then we start to lower again. See if you can lower a little bit more. Really listening to the body. And then relax the shoulder that's below you. Really relax it and reach a little farther if you can. Now, here's where you might bring a block in. And if you do bring a block, it's going to go on the baby toe side of the foot. So you can then lower even further so that your hand now can go to a block. This is if you're able to maintain the torso, leaning back, staying lined up. So that top shoulder is right on top of the bottom shoulder, which is right underneath the wrist, right? We're not leaning forward. You see how I just leaned forward? This is a tendency that people have. We want to stay away from that. So you're leaning back. And then if you can, go even lower. And maybe even eventually your hand goes to the floor, as long as you're able to maintain that alignment from the wrist into the bottom shoulder, into the top shoulder, all the way up through the hand. Strong and steady in your legs. Activate your quadriceps. Good. Now, if your neck is starting to tweak, then turn your head and look down. Good. And then from there, we're going to lift up. Nice and easy. Inhale. Bring your hands in together. Again, you're going to either jump or you could step your feet together. Come back into being a mountain. Reconnect with breath. Inhale 4 counts. Exhale 4 counts. Inhale 4. Exhale 4. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And then hands come again. Up in, and remember, you can either step out or jump. You open up. Good. And then we turn the other direction. Reach, extend, open up that body. Stretch it out. Reach, reach, reach. And then lower. And again, we go just at the knee, below the knee. Straight legs, you guys. And if that feels comfortable, lowering a little bit more. And just keep on going. As long as you're able to keep the torso lined up. Lower again. And again, you can use a block. So you're lowering to a block, making sure that you're keeping the wrist underneath that bottom shoulder, the top shoulders on top of that, all the way reaching through your hand. And if you want, you can lower even further, eventually going all the way to the ground, steady and stable. Now, if your neck is getting tweaked, turn your head and look down. Straighten those legs. Activate your quadriceps. Activate your quadriceps. Abdominals are in. Breath is 1 to 1. And then from there, we reach up, all the way up. Bring our feet together, hands in, and you're either going to step or jump. Okay, so you have a couple options. And again, we reconnect with breath. 2 breaths here. Inhale through the nose. And ground. Exhale. Feel your feet connected. Inhale again. Exhale. And inhale, hands come up, bend those knees, jump or step. Good. We turn. And this time we bend the knee, warrior 2. Look down that middle right finger. Strong and steady. And we're holding. Remember, in this practice, it's all about getting into the pose, being strong, steady, stable, relaxed. So there's comfort there. So that the Vata, all that wind, all the air that makes up wind, and the ether can begin to settle. So we're settling internal wind. How does internal wind show up? Well, it's physical, mental, emotional. It shows up as feeling scattered, ungrounded, chaotic. Good. And then reach. And we're going to go right into the other side. Go to the other side. And turn your head. Looking down the middle left finger. Strong and steady. This is a great practice for Vata because it's going to help calm Vata, brings in stillness. Good. And then we bring it forward. Hands come in. You're going to either jump or step. And again, we're coming back to the breath. 2 full breaths. Inhale. Steady and still. Inhale. Ground. Bringing your hands in. Bend your knees and jump out or step out. And we go back into warrior 2, which then turns into warrior 4. Turn your head and look up. Deepen into that bent knee. Even out your breath. Tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth. Warrior 2. Lifting up, turning and facing the other direction. Drop down, bend the knee, and then reach. Warrior 4, turn your head and look up. And then warrior 2. Good. And then bringing it in, you're going to bring your hands in, bend your knees, either step or jump. Good. Hold it. 2 full breaths. Inhale. Exhale out the nose, ground. Inhale. Exhale, calm, steady. Inhale, bringing your arms in, bend your knees again, step or jump. Good. We bend our knee, Parsvottanasana. Hold. Now, with Parsvottanasana, if you're going to use a block, it's going to go on the big toe side of the foot. So if you want to go lower, you could stay here, or you could drop to a block. And you can also take your hand to the floor. It's optional. And we draw the navel in, strong, steady, focusing on the breath, right? We want to keep our attention in the body, on the breath. Really trying to draw all of our awareness right into this moment, right? Because Vata, you're going to exacerbate it. You're going to make it worse if you let yourself get distracted. So be really strong and steady. Good. And then we release out of that, lift up, warrior 4. Turn your head. Warrior 2. Reach up. We go to the other side. Parsvottanasana. Extend. Connect with breath. Now remember, if you want to go further, the block comes in on the big toe side of the foot. You can also go to the floor. Stay connected to breath. Tongue is at the tip of the roof of the mouth, behind the two front teeth. So the tip of the tongue is placed there. Stay with the breath. Come up. Warrior 4. Turn your head, look up. Open. Warrior 2. Deepen into the knee. Deepen. Build strength. Strong and steady. So that all of that unsettled energy inside the body can settle. Good. And then lift. And bring your hands in. Either jump or step. Good. And again, we reconnect. Ground into that mountain pose. One more breath. Good, and we're going to bend those knees on your inhale. Jump or step. Good, now, this time we're going to turn, we add a rotation. So this arm comes around, goes to the ground or to a block, and we rotate. Now look, this back heel here, this is hard. It's on the ground. It's down. So you are rotating with this heel down. Now, if that's too much for you, then lift the heel. That's going to give you more torque. So you can rotate more with the heel up. It's going to require more balance, but it is a little easier for the rotation. What we want to do, though, is get to where this back heel is down. Then the upper arm reaches and goes alongside the ear. Wow. Hold. Good, and then lifting up, reach. We're going to rotate to the other side. Okay, good. Bend the knee and then rotate either to a block. Now remember, this back heel stays down. Keep it down. If you don't have enough rotation, you can lift it. Okay, but if you can try it down, I would want you to try that. Then you rotate your torso, stack the upper shoulder on top of the lower shoulder. Hold. Now, once you get your legs set up, strong and steady, tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth, Ujjayi breath. 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale. Then take your upper arm alongside the ear. And then releasing out of that, coming up. Okay, we're rotating again, you guys. Turn to the other side. This time your rotation, this elbow goes to the outside of your thigh. Now you may have to pull your heel up to get there. Then you go here. Then your hands come together in prayer. So this is what it looks like. You're here, your hands come together. Now, instead of doing this where you're collapsing, I want you to lean back so that your hands come to your heart. Okay? Big rotation. Now, if you can, take your back heel down. And releasing, coming up. We rotate now to the other side. Turn. You might pick up the heel. That makes it a little easier. Take that elbow, connect it to the outside thigh. The upper hand comes in. Press that hand down. Push. Lean back with your back. So instead of dropping forward, lean back so that this hand can push into the lower hand and they're at your heart. And then drop your back heel. Now hold, big rotation, squeezing out the tension of the day, and then holding it. That's going to settle the Vata. 1-to-1 breath, tongue at the roof of the mouth, behind the 2 front teeth. Good, and then coming out of that, inhale, bring your hands in. Exhale, jump or step together. Hold, mountain pose, Tadasana. Keep your eyes focused off in the horizon, staring at a single point. Focus. Even out your breath. Ground and settle the body. Strong and stable like a mountain. Stable in your feet. Stable in your legs. Stable in your pelvis, your abdomen, your upper torso, the shoulders, and the head. Good. Bending those knees on your next inhale. Open, jump out or step. We're going to go back into Trikonasana. So line up front heel with the arch of the back foot. Lower as far as you're able to go and hold it comfortably, keeping the torso lined up. Activate your legs strong. Good. Coming up. And open and go to the other side. Line up front heel with the arch of the back foot. Lower. And then hold wherever it's comfortable. You can use a block, no problem. Keeping that wrist underneath the bottom shoulder. Top shoulder is right on top of the bottom shoulder. Really keeping the torso lined up. So when we do Iyengar, we're in the poses a lot longer, so it's forcing the body to create stability. You can really feel what's going on in your body when you hold poses for a while. Tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth, behind the 2 front teeth. And again, your 1-to-1 breath. Inhale 4 counts, exhale 4 counts. Good, and then from there, we're gonna lift up. Now, you may need a block. We're going to this side again, but this time, we turn our pelvis, square it. Inside arm reaches up, and then we rotate and go into Parvarita Trikonasana. Now we're doing the full pose because that's what you do in Iyengar. But I'll show you modification here. The full pose is with the hand on the baby toe side of the foot. Okay, but if you need to modify, come to the big toe side. Once again, we've got the wrist, the shoulder, the upper shoulder on top of the lower shoulder, and then that wrist reaching. Now, you have to keep activating those legs. Keep activating the legs. Strong. Watch your upper arm, you guys. Don't let it drop behind you. So move it a little bit closer to the head. A couple of you guys are letting this upper arm drop. Lift it up. Big squeeze. Squeezing out the ribs, the torso, literally squeezing tension out of the organs in the belly. And releasing out of that. Facing the other side. So you're going to turn, square your hips first. So what I mean by that is your hips face the direction of your front leg. So turn, then this inside arm reaches, and you go right into the pose. So take your hand to the baby toe side of the foot. See how that feels? You might have to use a block. And then extend. Really big rotation. Now, if that's too much, come to the big toe side. Straighten those legs, you guys. This upper arm, keep it closer to the head. Tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth, behind the two front teeth. Ujjayi breath. Inhaling 4 counts. Exhaling 4 counts. Be present. Good, and then from there, we're lifting up. And bringing your hands in. Jump or step. And again, ground. So typically in Iyengar, they move from the standing postures to the seated postures. We're going to do a couple of seated postures. But before we do that, we're going to actually do Shalambhasana first. Oh, what's that? It means a superhero pose. How exciting, because it's going to really help strengthen Vata.
You're frozen.
Your eyes. What? Are you okay, Patty? Just send me a message in the chat. Oh, she's got it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to turn, face the front of the mat. We're going to take it onto your tummy. So you're going to go down onto your tummy. So I'm going to show you a couple different variations that we're going to do. So you could start out interlaced fingers behind you right here at the sacrum and the tailbone. Okay. And you're going to just lift your upper body and then lift your lower body. So your thighs come off the mat. That's one variation. Then release and turn your head to one side. Good. And then now the next variation, your hands are going to come up like in a cactus. Okay. And we lift upper body up and then lift your thighs up off the mat. Here's your next variation. Make sure your thighs are off the mat. Reach. Activate your back. Release and turn your head to the other side. Okay. The next variation is the superhero variation. So your arms are extended. If this is too much, you could start out here and then come down into the cactus, okay? So you have your arms extended like in a V, and you lift the upper body, then lift the thighs up off the ground. Lift. Now, if that's too much, then just gently bend those elbows. Hold. Keep lifting. Settle your breath. And releasing, turning your head to one side. Okay, one more, you guys. Good. Your arms come up again for the superhero. Try it. And lift. Lift your legs. Hold. And if you need to, bend. Otherwise, hold. And release. Turn your head to the other side. All right. And then we're going to lift up. Right. And bring our legs in front of us. We're going to start out with a rotation. So if you want, you can bring in a blanket. You can also use a strap. So the rotation is going to go a couple of different ways. The right leg comes in, the left leg extends. And so you can have your foot to the inside of the leg and grab this way. Or bring your foot to the outside of the leg and grab. So you're turning your torso towards the body. Good. There's a couple. There's a chat. Oops. I have to leave. Okay, Abby. No problem. Poor Abby. She has a meeting at 7. Who does that? What is wrong with our world? Evening meetings. Well, she has a job where they work with people from all over the world. So that's probably it. Good. Great. And now we release out of that. That leg, if you were crossed, you want to bring it in front and kind of pull it into the glute as close as you can. Then you're going to reach. So this is your right leg bent. Your right arm reaches to the foot and then just drop your head. We're going to do a couple different things here. So you can stay right here, or that right arm goes in front of the shin. it internally rotates. That means you're going to drop your thumb so that the palm is up now, and then bend your elbow and take your hand behind you right there at the hip. Now, if you can, reach back and grab the other hand, drop your head, or you use your strap, drop your head. Now you can grab fingertips, palm of the hand, or wrist, and the head is dropped. 1-to-1 breath. All right, and then releasing out of that. Straightening that leg. Good, and the other leg comes up, bent. You're either going to keep the foot to the inside and then cross, or it can go over the extended leg. Torso is lifted, and then you rotate. And then releasing out of that. That same foot, if you did cross it, now comes to the inside as close to your glutes as you can. And then you take the left hand and reach to the right foot. Drop your head. Now, this extended arm then goes in front of the left shin. You're going to drop the thumb, turn the palm so it goes up, take the hand behind you, reach back, grab your fingers, your hand, palm of the hand, or your wrist. Keep dropping the head, or you can do a strap. Okay, this is where it's nice to have in Iyengar, by the way. Iyengar is really the yoga practice that they got into all of the props, straps, wall straps, blocks, blankets, everything. That is where it all started. Keep relaxing your head, 1-to-1 breath. Great. And we release out of that. You're going to come off of your blanket, take it to the floor, and then go into bridge. So find your heels, bring them down. Keep your knees lined up with the front of the hip bone, and then lift. Great. Activate into your feet and lift. Lowering, draw your knees into your chest. Take your knees to the right side, extend your left arm out, look to the left. Taking a few breaths here. Letting the body relax and settle. And then the legs come up and go to the left side and turning and looking to the right. And then setting yourself up for Savasana, corpse pose. Cover your eyes, cover your body. Get warm. Make sure you cover your eyes. Remember, your eyes are the most overstimulated sense we have. So settle your eyes, pacify them by covering them up using an eye mask or an eye pillow. And then relax. Okay. And begin to deepen your breath. Allow some movement into your fingers and toes. Gently, slowly roll to your right side and rest. Let your breath be easy. Let your body rest with ease. And then slowly bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands together, connecting your thumbs to your heart. And once again, we move into stillness, just like in mountain pose. Seated with stillness, stability, silence. And may you have a restful, peaceful stillness, ease, calm, all for Vata. Namaste.